whistles.
25 whistles.
All right, blow it up. We don't all wear whistles anymore.
No, it's just me.
Theme song says that.
Sometimes I even forget mine.
We add it in post. From the New York Post, the age our bodies reach a tipping point, and they stop being able to bounce back easily.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that age is, Eddie?
40.
Kevin?
Oh, wow. 32.
How old are you?
34.
Are you feeling it
Oh,
yourself
dang,
now?
really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, new research has found the point of no return when we no longer recover as well from injury is 75.
What?
So we should be like recovering
Dude, we
really
should be
well.
good. My boot should be off. I should be running marathons right now.
Yeah, dude, I cut my finger on Thanksgiving. It's still not good.
Researchers measured the health of nearly 13,000 people with an average age of 67 based on 30 attributes: chronic diseases, cardiovascular conditions, how they performed in activities. They used a frailty index. Researchers discovered the tipping point for men and women around 70. Like, we should be able to bounce back then if we do it right. What happens is we get hurt and we're older and we have other obligations and we're not able to focus on it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But also, I don't heal as fast as I used to.
No chance.
No.
So I guess I can bounce back. It's just slower. Maybe at 75, you just don't bounce back. Like, once it happens, it's permanent.
Yeah, you just sit there with
It's
it.
permanent marker on a shirt. It's blood on a shirt. So I saw that. I would have guessed much younger, too.
Dude, my father-in-law, he is probably 80-something, like late 70s, early 80s. And he's got a trainer. And he sent me a video of him doing deadlifts, 180.
Really?
Almost 200 deadlifts. I'm like, dude, old man, you're going to hurt yourself.
That's your father-in-law?
Yeah.
So Caitlin's grandfather, which I guess would be my grandfather-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in his 80s.
He deadlifts?
He works on the farm still.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, he just birthed a cow. And he was talking about how it was coming out the wrong way, so he had to chain it to its feet. Like, he still gets on a four-wheeler, does that.
there are just some people that like want to be physical their whole life. Like my parents, like my mom, and yeah, she's got bad legs and like a bad hip and everything, but she can barely walk and she's like 79, 78.
He was driving a school bus until last year in his 80s. And I think genetics has a lot to do with it.
For sure.
Genetics and choices.
Yeah.
But yeah, 75, I guess it doesn't go back. I was in therapy yesterday for my ankle.
How's that going?
I don't know. I think I'm passing with flying colors because I'm doing all my work. But man, it hurts. Like you look. I look forward to it. Then when I get there, I realize I shouldn't look forward to it because it sucks the whole time.
It's like working out.
Just physical. Like, I was on a box doing all these lifts and it hurts because my ankle obviously is not in the condition that it was. I'm doing, that machine where you use your quads, you lift up frontward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your quad. So they have me doing that because I've done no leg work in a month and a half. And they're like, do 3 sets of 8, and they'd put the weight on. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm weak. So did physical therapy yesterday.
But like you're trending upward. Like, does your foot still hurt? Like the other day you were like, it hurts so bad.
Part of the reason it hurts so bad is, well, it's not all the way back, but I'm wearing this boot that's very heavy and it hangs. If I'm sitting in a chair, so all the blood's rushing to it still.
Yeah.
Does it go numb?
Yeah, like I have it on a stool right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I should hopefully, because I have an appointment with my surgeon tomorrow, they're like, hey, you can not wear the boot. Now you have to wear a brace, which is different, but I can wear normal shoes. I don't know where my left shoes are to like 3 pair of shoes right now because I've only been wearing the right shoe.
I told you to put a shoe on the boot.
Yeah, for like 5 weeks or so. It's only been one shoe. So, okay, we have a couple good guests coming up, but let's talk first. Let's have a bunch of stuff. Hey, you may fact check this, Kevin. BYU's coach has to be Mormon?
No.
Ooh.
I think that's true.
Really?
So
We met him.
Penn State tried to hire BYU's coach, and he was going to go to Penn State. And then the Crumble Cookie guy comes out and is like, I'm in. I'm going to save him. Crumble Cookie guy, big Provo guy. They sign Sataki to a new deal at BYU. It doesn't say that?
No, I'm seeing a couple things that say no, you don't have to.
Okay, then I heard and read wrong. Is he?
Is he Mormon?
Ooh, good question.
He did kind of tell me to stop drinking beer.
And he did have to go and like speak to
He went there, didn't he?
the head of the church.
But again, I don't think you have to be Mormon to go there.
No, not to go there. You
Okay.
don't.
He is Mormon.
So maybe it's just like recommended.
I wonder if
they have
you
a
can.
Mormon coach.
I wonder if you can take that job and tell him, yeah, I'm a Mormon.
You convert like you do when you marry somebody.
Yeah, man.
Could
Mormon.
do that, right?
Because there are people I know that have converted because the person they're marrying is a different religion.
Yeah, my wife converted to Catholicism.
Really?
Yeah.
But she didn't really have to really do it.
She did classes and everything.
I know, but that's just going through the process to prove you get the job, which is your wife. Like, can't you just prove, like, you go and you study the LDS, 'cause that's what that is, right, Mormon? And all of a sudden you are like, yeah, I'm in. And they're like, okay, you're the coach. And then you don't go anymore.
and then you're done.
You're done.
You just go through the process. So, but it's not, you don't have to be.
No.
But how many of the last coaches have been? Like, how important is that to them?
Historically, it says a majority have been.
It has
It's
to,
ju-
right?
It's just not an official policy.
Unspoken
Yeah.
policy.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably a policy, but just one they can't put in
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah.
It's like they'll interview somebody that's not Mormon, just say, "Oh, we tried."
Oh, good point. Like, is that turn into like a discrimination thing? Like,
It's
you know,
it's Rooney Rule. Where in the
Yeah.
NFL they have to interview a certain number of minority coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
In that they have to interview a certain number of non-Mormon coaches just
Yeah.
to prove.
One Christian, one Catholic.
all the denominations.
Yeah, he almost went to Penn State,
Yeah, that was a surprise. Man, they are.
but they just kept falling. I mean, it was a surprise because nobody else that they wanted the job. That job opened up so long ago. Before any of the other jobs opened, they fired James Franklin thinking, we're going to have our pick of the litter.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's no litter. I was reading the grades from this SEC Unfiltered on Twitter, and they graded Lane Kiffin an A+. Now, he does have to go and win a national championship.
Yes.
This is the first coach I've ever seen that has to go somewhere and win a national championship, or it is not a successful hire.
What's the grade on? The grade on the hire or the grade on the coach?
The hire.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that both.
Okay.
Hire of the
I think
coach.
that's.
Yeah.
I think that's why you
Well,
get the grade.
I mean, like a coach, like you give Lane Kiffin an A+ because just for being a coach. Like he's an A+ coach.
LSU they gave the A+ because they hired Lane
Got
Kiffin.
it. Okay, it's the hire then.
Florida they gave an A for John Summerall, which there are some coaches, and we've had Summerall on this show before. There are some coaches that shouldn't do some of the quirky social media stuff. And I was watching a thing where I think it was maybe Takeo Spikes who played at Florida, and he's picks up the phone. It's like, Coach, and it's like Coach walking outside. He picks up the phone. He's like, it's signing day. And like, that's not Summerall's thing. It's a weird video.
Really? Was
Yeah.
it Brandon Spikes?
It's Brandon Spikes.
Okay,
That's who it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Because he just goes, it's Spikes. I don't know which one it was.
Is he like a bad actor?
It just is a little too corny for his personality because
Yeah.
he's not a corny personality.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't seem like a playful guy.
Gotcha.
Like Saban doing corny videos.
Yeah.
It would be
Saban
weird.
or Belichick doing corny
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin could do corny.
Yes.
Oh, that's all he does.
Yeah.
They gave Summerall an A at Florida. They gave Golish a B+ at Auburn. They gave Will Stein a B+ at Kentucky. I thought for Kentucky that was a really great hire.
Yeah.
He's a Kentucky guy and is offensive coordinator at Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Young guy, I think he's in his 30s. Pete Golding, a C-, who's now the new Ole Miss head coach. That was an interesting thing, and we talked about it, where it was like, hey, interim coach, and an hour later it was like, no interim. He's now the head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about it last time. I just wonder if it's like a desperation thing or not.
I think it's probably a bit of they had that planned in case Lane left. They just didn't know if Lane was going to leave, and they didn't want him to leave. So it's a bit of both. Like, who
Yeah.
else are you going to go get?
Yeah.
Like, Penn State's trying to find a coach. You think you're going to get a coach probably bigger than Penn State? I think you like what the best option available is. I think Penn State's going to having to hire their interim coach.
Yeah. And at this point, it's like, hey, we're happy to have you.
And if you're, because he was a coordinator,
their interim coach.
yeah, and under Franklin, and I think he's probably hoping that nobody takes the job because he wants that job. The players were advocating for him their last game before the season was over.
Do football coaches ever take their crew with them, like their OC,
Most
DC?
Lane took a lot,
Yeah.
but I did see the offensive coordinators going back to coach Ole Miss for the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That helps them a
they
little
need
bit.
they need something, man. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that-
they do a lot. I mean, most do. Most of the ones that they like, they take with them. There was the story of Lane giving the ultimatum: if you don't get on the plane, you're not going to come to LSU with me.
Mhm.
Turns out it wasn't right then. It was like 2 days later they all came over.
That would make the movie though, right? The dramatic.
Get on
scene.
the plane.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that is the movie in Jerry Maguire.
Jerry
That is the scene
Maguire,
in Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's with me?
Yeah. Grab the goldfish.
They gave Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas a D-.
Oh,
Dang.
man.
I know.
That's my college grades.
Yeah.
High school for sure.
High school, yeah.
I got a text from Jared Allen. He used to play from the Vikings
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
yesterday. And so he said, hey, if you want me to connect you with the new Razorback coach, he's a good friend of mine and an old coach of mine. So I guess they're friends. And then he coached in the NFL a bit with Minnesota.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a cool connection.
Does Jared Allen text you a bunch?
So
like you watching this game, bro?
no, we don't text like that.
How about
We-
those Vikings?
We do live close to each other,
Yeah.
and him and Matt Castle are good friends. And so Jared came over, did our podcast, and then when we went to the Super Bowl, he was being maybe inducted. Is it
It was
inducted?
it was Hall of Fame.
He was a
Not inducted.
finalist. He's getting inducted this next year.
No, it was the announcement of his induction
He's been inducted.
or making the
Oh,
Hall
he's
of Fame. Yeah.
inducted.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, but he was there at that, so I spent some time with him there too, and we just live close, and so now it's like,
What
Yeah.
up?
yeah,
That's cool, man.
yeah. And so Castle knew that Jared knew the coach, and so Castle was like, "Hey, hit Bobby up."
Got
So
it.
Jared texted me, was like, "Oh, I didn't know." Whatever, but I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've not talked to the. I texted the new Arkansas coach.
Oh, you did already?
Well, I have a friend that connected us on a text, but I know this guy's underwater right now. Your first few days, it's all PR.
A lot going on.
There's no free time. He was at the basketball game last night, which we did beat Louisville.
Yeah, that was awesome, dude.
Big win for us.
Congrats.
We needed it. So, but he's doing like signing day was Wednesday
Yeah.
yesterday. So like he had to hit the ground running. Penn State got 2 recruits
Oh, I saw there, I
Two
think
signed.
150.
because they only had 2 people signed.
That's crazy.
The big ones all went with James Franklin are decommitted, and they don't have a coach. So who are you signing to?
And Franklin's at Virginia Tech.
Yeah. Some went there with him.
Yeah, a lot
Recruits.
did.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. We'll talk about the games coming up. It's an interesting weekend. Mildly, like I think number one is the Ohio State Indiana game to me, just what I want to see because I just want to see if Indiana plays close.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, they may win, but I don't feel like Indiana is on fraud alert because they did beat Oregon at Oregon, but it's been a while.
Yeah. And Ohio State is that good.
Dude, Ohio State's so good.
Like if they're playing Georgia or Alabama, I'd be like, yeah, I like the chances. But because it's Ohio State, I'm like, I don't see it happening.
and they could surprise us all.
Yeah.
But I'm anxious to see. They did beat Oregon.
Indiana's
Yeah.
never won a national championship.
Indiana's never won a conference,
Whoa.
Big Ten championship.
Oh, that's crazy.
This might be their first time playing in the Big Ten championship game. But I do know they've never won a Big Ten championship.
Wow.
They're a basketball school, man. They used to play football with a basketball.
Really?
Until recently,
Really?
yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, they would ask ahead of time, do you guys care if we use a basketball for this?
They started dribbling the football.
SC championship game, don't really care that much. They're both in to the playoff. And also, it's not my team, so I don't care. The Big 12 championship game is interesting because you wonder if BYU beats Texas Tech, it screws up the entire college football playoff
Yeah.
because that is not a spot that they have already dedicated to BYU. They've already dedicated it to Texas Tech. They're going to get a bye. They're going to be one of the top 4 teams. And for them to get that, they're going to have to win this conference championship game. And they are a 12.5-point favorite.
Yeah. And Tech whooped them earlier
Yes,
in the
the first
year.
time.
You
Yeah.
think BYU has a chance?
I don't think they'll win. Has a chance. I mean,
Not everyone
sure.
has a chance, I
but I
guess.
don't think they'll win. But if they do, it screws up everybody's, at least the committee's
Now,
current college.
do you
want
want to see that as a guy who loves chaos?
Yes.
Or is that too
My
chaotic?
short answer is yes. It sucks Vanderbilt can't get in.
I know.
Texas should not be ranked over Vanderbilt just because they have 3 losses. Don't lose to a 4-win Florida team. Like, don't lose to a 4-win Florida team.
Right.
That's the answer to that. It's like you scheduled Ohio State. Great. You lost that game. That's okay. You can lose that game. You can lose another game. Don't lose to freaking Florida. Look at Vanderbilt's 2 losses. They lost to Alabama and Texas.
Yeah.
Big
Like
losses.
these other teams, most of their loss, that Florida loss was terrible.
Yeah.
No offense, Mike,
I wish that wouldn't happen.
but Texas shouldn't be in, and Texas shouldn't be ranked over Vanderbilt, even though they beat them head-to-head because they have an extra loss. That head-to-head needs to be, if you're the same and you've played head-to-head, then you are up.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be with an extra loss. You lost to Florida.
I mean, you swap them as far as their logo and just team, school in general, and you know they're going to be up there.
Big 12 championship, we talked about that one. That's about it. I hope Duke wins. I hope Duke beats Virginia. That's the chaos
Just
that
the
I want
chaos?
to see.
Shake up.
That's the chaos that I want to see. How about your Cowboys tonight, baby?
Tonight, it's a big one.
Elimination
It's
game.
a big one in Detroit, man. I don't know. There's a lot of. I was getting an auto part the other day for my son's car, and the lady saw my car, my hat, and she's like, "Let's go Cowboys!" And I go, "Man, it's actually like looking pretty good." She's like, "Don't say that. Don't say that. They always let us down." And so I don't know. I'm going into this week with. I hope you don't let us down.
Here's why
This is a
you're
big
here's
game.
why you're annoying. You start the season, Cowboys gonna do it all. Then you gave up on the Cowboys and said you're no longer rooting for them.
Correct.
You committed to you don't care anymore. you guys suck. You're no longer rooting for them this year.
Did you notice I stopped wearing a hat for a little bit?
No.
Yeah, I stopped wearing the Cowboys hat for a little bit.
But now you're so back. Other people are having to convince you to calm down.
I know. It's just that's the life of being a Cowboys fan, man. Like, look at the beginning of the season. Did you really think we had a chance of making the playoffs in week 6? No. Week 7, definitely not. And then we just started. I mean, we beat the 2 Super Bowl teams.
I think the tie against the Packers was kind of the start of it.
Yeah, but then after that, we fell off.
Yeah, but that gave you a little hope. The Cardinals loss was your big punch in the nuts.
Oh, dude, it's like, what are we doing? We don't even want to win.
Like, I started to think you guys could play because your offense was so good. When CeeDee Lamb went out and Pickens started to be that dude, even though you weren't winning, then you had 2 dudes when CeeDee got back. And that's really hard to stop with Dak playing as well as he is.
We got 2 dudes. We got a running game. We got a defense that we keep stacking on. We got people that were hurt at the beginning of the season that are coming back now. Diggs is going to play tonight. I mean, it just feels like something good is happening.
Oh, no, dude. You're talking yourself into heartache.
What's crazy, though, is after, Nealon committed suicide, that kind of people are talking about that really brought the team together to play for Nealon. I don't know how much that plays a role in it, but it seems like this team's got more than talent. They've got fight in their heart to win this for Nealon.
That's just what people say. It's not about him. I'm not taking the death part of it.
Just saying
but
that.
When you win, that's what people say. It's like the most annoying thing when teams are getting ready to start their season, and our fans are the same, and they're like, all we need is like this guy to step up. Well, what do you mean step up? That's such a generic thing you say whenever you just are like, man, if he steps up, if it were up to him, he'd probably be stepping up.
Yeah. Hey, next man up.
But sometimes you're just not big enough, strong enough. You don't have the skill set. You're not fast enough. There's no such thing as, man, if we just get this guy to step up. What does that mean, step up? It's such a generic thing that people just say because they don't know what they're talking about. No offense to you.
I didn't say step up.
I know, but you're kind of like the magical mystery of the Cowboys. But if they lose, does that mean they didn't care about him and his death?
No, it's not that. It's just that, death sometimes brings families together. I know when my dad died, we started texting.
That's way different.
Okay.
Dude, this is way different.
I heard someone laughing.
This is way different than your dad dying.
But, man, my sister and I texted more. My brother and I texted more. My mom, we just all got closer. I feel like the Cowboys are getting closer because they suffered a loss together.
And they very well
Not
could.
on the field loss.
They very well could. My only point is, if you're saying that's why they're coming together, then you have to, if they lose, then go, well, maybe that wasn't what was happening at all.
Wasn't that in the injuries and, Lamb out.
But that's already happened.
Yeah, I know. But then our defense was in shambles, dude, until 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. That's when we started getting players back. Overshawn came back. We got new linebackers. We traded for Kenny Clark. Well, that's from the beginning, but Quinnen Williams. He played awesome. We made changes.
Listen, I root for the Cowboys. I bet a future on them because it paid off so well if they hit. I bet $100 to win 6,000.
That's your bet?
Yeah.
I did $1 to win 200.
I would love for them just to make the playoffs because if they have such a high I hate the term.
Ceiling?
Octane. No.
Oh,
offense.
Octane. Yes.
Yeah,
high
so
power.
stupid.
I haven't heard that in a while.
I know. It's so stupid.
High power, baby.
Yeah.
I say I hate
Running
cliches,
gun
and then I say
spread.
high octane offense. I'm such a loser. Anyway, Cowboys play tonight. Good luck.
Is St. Brown playing? I haven't seen a decision made, but
Let's hope not.
they are trending that he's not playing.
Lions are -3.
Yes, whatever.
That's what
I've made
Whatever.
a lot, dude. I've made so much money on those dumb lines where Cowboys are underdogs. I'll take it.
Oh, the lines, not the Lions.
The lines, yeah.
The line.
Yeah.
Got it. Do you see anything about Amon-Ra St.
Just
Brown?
says questionable still as of right now.
If he can play, he probably plays because they can't lose this game either.
Right.
Like you don't really have the luxury to let him get back to full health if he's cleared to play and wants to play.
Woo!
You're
Give me a good one. I'm excited.
Boys.
You're setting yourself up.
It's
over there.
exciting.
Other games this weekend: Seahawks at Falcons. We'll just say don't care. Bengals at Bills. We do care
We
because
do care.
the Bengals have to keep winning,
Come on, Bengals.
and the Bills need to win.
Yeah.
Like both of those teams, they're both looking to win because it hasn't been the greatest of seasons, at least compared to the expectations that were set up on them. And they both have high octane offenses. God, I'm stupid. The game I think America's waiting for is Titans and Browns.
Oh, it's
yeah.
a good one, dude.
They should just put that on like a stream.
Is
Like-
that in Cleveland?
Tubi.
Yeah, they should, only Tubi. Yeah, it's in Cleveland.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Commanders and Vikings, nobody cares. Dolphins and Jets, that's very similar to the Titans and Browns, except the Dolphins are winning a little now, but still nobody cares. Saints and Bucks, Colts
We
and
need
Jags.
that
the
one.
Bucks.
We need Bucks on that.
Colts and Jags is a good game. I'm not thinking about us right now, guys. I'm just
Oh,
talking
I'm
about
always-
general
Sorry.
interest of the people.
I'm always thinking about us.
Steelers at Ravens is an interesting game. It's just because it's in a division that nobody's good.
Yeah, up for grabs.
Yeah, it's so up for grabs that the Bengals could keep winning and play themselves back into it.
Yeah.
Broncos at Raiders, that should be a
Yeah.
runaway. Bears at Packers, that's interesting.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's at Green Bay. Rams at Cardinals, Texas at Chiefs is a really interesting one too.
Yeah, Chiefs need to
Oh,
win.
man,
They
that's gonna
both
be tough.
that's close to a playing game for both of them, or at least a elimination game.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really play your way in; you just play to keep playing for a shot at the playoffs. Chiefs are in Kansas City, a 3.5-point favorite. Monday night Eagles at Chargers, pretty good. So that's your NFL slate there. Looking at the 25 whistles parlay presented by DraftKings.
It's all you, man.
Okay, I feel like I can nail this one.
I'm out.
Get it.
I've not bet against Indiana one time. I've bet a lot of parlays with Indiana covering. I'm going Ohio State -4.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's really hypocritical of me because I've been so
Something
far,
that's been working for you.
yeah.
You change. Okay.
I'm gonna go Georgia -2.5 over Alabama.
No comment, Kevin? Kevin just looked
No.
down. Kevin looked down like he didn't want to say something.
I'm looking at the lines.
Okay.
What's the over/under on Duke, Virginia?
What, those two teams have high octane? What are you thinking?
I might go under. Low octane.
Low octane.
Low octane. See here.
I never bet an under
Never, dude.
because it
Never.
makes a game so boring. It's like I'm betting to be bored.
Yes. And mostly for me, it's because I have to watch the whole game to see if I win.
57.5.
I'm going over Duke and Virginia.
All right.
High octane.
Man,
Baby.
it's the best when you hit that one like at halftime. Woo,
Yeah.
done. Already hit it.
And like I'm just watching the pace to see if they're like above schedule.
Yeah.
Like if it's
The average.
over under 60.5, but they've scored combined like 41 points in the first half.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good.
And then you hope the game's close so that they can keep scoring on each other and raise it up. Because if it's a blowout, are they going to just lay off? The offense going to just sit back?
The brain of us. Yes. When your team hits the end zone, you can hit the payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code BobbySports. One word, Bobby Sports. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. We're going to go over now and talk to one of the most plugged-in people in college football, Ross Dellenger. He's a senior college football reporter at Yahoo Sports, and we talk about the podcast that he's on. You can follow him, Twitter, X, at Ross Dellenger. Here he is, Ross Dellenger. All right, we're going to bring on Ross Dellenger, who hosts a really great college podcast. We've had his partner on too. College Football Inquirer. He's a senior college football reporter. Ross, really appreciate the time. I want to start first with something happening here in town where we're seeing the Vanderbilt head coach, Clark Lee, call out, let's play a game. We don't get to play. Let's just play a game. Will this ever in the history of the world happen where a college football coach just yells, let's get a game in?
No, I don't think that's the way it works. You can't just suddenly yell out on a Tuesday. It's like that. It reminds me of that Office episode with Michael Scott. I declare bankruptcy, and he just yells out, "I declare bankruptcy," and he thinks that all of a sudden his financial worries will go away. So no, that's not how. That's not how it works at all. Coaches, I think, love the idea of controlling everything and pushing a button and making something happen, but that's just not logistically how it's going to work.
You do understand his frustration, though, right? They lost 2 games. And I understand the head-to-head, and Texas or Vanderbilt not going to make it. But the fact that Texas is ranked ahead of Vanderbilt, they did beat them head-to-head, but Texas has lost 3 games. So do you understand Vanderbilt's like anger at the system?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, there's 137 FBS teams. There's 68 power conference teams. And we have 12 playoffs, right? The number of spots make up about 9% of the FBS. So 9% of FBS makes it to the postseason. Most pro sports and a lot of NCAA sports too, at least 20% or more of a field make the playoffs. So there's a lot of frustration about the size of the playoff field, and that's why commissioners are steady trying to come to some resolution or agreement to expand the field. So I think there are a lot of frustrated schools out there. And Vanderbilt has a right to be frustrated. Texas, to a degree, has a right to be frustrated. Utah is 10-2. They certainly have a right to be frustrated. But that's the way it is right now with the 12-team playoff.
I think the committee kind of sucks in that Miami beat Notre Dame. Okay, so head to head, but they still have Notre Dame ranked over Miami right now. Now, but to contradict themselves, they've got Texas over Vanderbilt. Like they're kind of saying one thing, but also showing a different thing. Does this mean we need to open it up to more teams or less teams?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are some people out there that think, that 12 is actually too many, right? And we should go back to four, or maybe there should be eight or six or something like that. Um, you talk to college coaches, and most of them will say annually that there's 6 to 8 teams that can win the national championship. So 12 gives us a few more than that. 12 seems like a good number, but again, when you look at other pro sports and even other NCAA sports, 9% of the field making the postseason, 9% of the sport making the postseason seems to be a kind of a low number. And I think that's why, a lot of commissioners and athletic directors hope that commissioners come to some agreement on perhaps a 16-team field, or maybe even one that has 20 teams, 20 plus teams.
Yeah, I'm in for that. It's full Hunger Games. Like everybody in. Like no conference championships. We don't need them anymore because we're seeing, except for BYU maybe beating Texas Tech to get in, like the conference championship games really aren't mattering in the grand scheme. I think it's cool for like an Indiana who has never won a Big Ten championship to be able to play in one. But I think the conference championship games don't matter as much. So let's kill this week and let's make it 32 teams. Let's use this week as the week leading
Yeah.
in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, there's a proposal from the Big Ten. It's a 2014 proposal, and it would basically kill the conference championship games, right? It would force it would force college athletic leaders to basically eliminate conference championship games, and then on this week, you have perhaps you have Army Navy, you move it up a week, and then next week you start a round of the playoffs. That's sort of the idea. In this 2014 bracket, you'd have multiple AQ automatic qualifiers, four for the Big Ten, four for the SEC, four for the ACC, four for the Big 12, two for the Group of Five, and six at large. So that would be the format of how the playoff field would be set. That's a proposal from the Big Ten. It's under discussion. The SEC and the Big Ten have to agree for any expanded playoff format to be approved and adopted. And right now they're not agreeing. The SEC is not agreeing with that format. They want more of a smaller field, 16 teams. They only want to expand out probably to about 16 teams. And they don't want the automatic qualifiers. They want a bigger at-large pool.
Is Juice Kiffin one of the weirder stories of the past 5 years?
It is. Yeah, it is. The fact that I guess Lane Kiffin, I don't know the details except that maybe Lane Kiffin doesn't
It's not his dog.
own the dog or something. Yeah, the
It's a
dog,
PR
the
dog.
custody of the dog is with with other people. It's typical, right? This Lane story, which I've followed now for a week, quite literally physically followed him around Mississippi and into Louisiana, is a weird one. The whole story is odd, and this is just, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, another odd part of the story.
It is brilliant because I would often see Juice Kiffin's tweets And I'm like, Lane's got a dog. Who doesn't love a good American man with a dog? Must mean he's a pretty good person. Must mean there's some depth for love that maybe I didn't think Lane Kiffin had, because Lane Kiffin's bouncing around everywhere loving nobody. And he has a dog, so there's that. And often during my life, I only had a dog, so I related to that. And Juice is like killing. He's tweeting out, can it be Ole Miss and Georgia in the championship game? He's tweeting from the plane. Turns out he lives at a kennel. He doesn't even live with Lane. It's the most bizarre thing. Also, shout out to the person who created that as a PR tactic, because it made me like Lane a little more because he likes dogs.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of people were drawn to Juice. In fact, I remember visiting Lane when he got Juice, quote unquote, or
Yeah.
whatever. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was there in Oxford, and Juice was a puppy, and he was in the office. He was in his office. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of all the Juice dog.
There was an
situation.
email that's like, Ross is coming, get Juice over to the office because he's
Yeah,
going to
get-
write a story for sure. What do you think the Lane situation is at LSU in Baton Rouge? Does he have to win a championship in 3 to 4 years?
I think there would be a lot of disappointment if, certainly by year 4, if LSU didn't at least win an SEC championship at the very least. When you get into the playoff, as big as it's gotten at 12, and it might be in 4 years, it might be 16 or 24 or whatever. It's kind of a crapshoot. I think people understand that, kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament, sort of. But just getting there is important. So just competing and being in the playoff, I think, is number one that you need to do. But look, the last, before Brian Kelly, 3 straight LSU coaches each won a national championship, and I believe they all did it in their 3rd year. I think they all did it in their 3rd year, with all championship games held in New Orleans. All just kind of odd. And so, as it turns out, I believe in 2028, the national championship game is in New Orleans, Lane's 3rd year. So there's going to be a lot of people pointing to that, obviously.
With Pete Golding taking the job at Ole Miss, and you could probably confirm or deny because I don't know what to believe anymore. There's the story of Lane being in his office watching the Iron Bowl and Golding coming in and being like, "This is my office now. Get the crap out of here." Is that even true?
I don't know.
Then it
I
must
wouldn't
not
think
be.
so, but
It must not be.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. That would be pretty crazy. But then again, we know that right before that game started, the meeting at the chancellor's house, the Ole Miss chancellor's house, which involved the chancellor and Lane and the athletic director, Keith Carter, did end. And that's where Lane sort of told them that he intended to leave. So by that point, that Saturday night, it was known. So it's possible that happened, but that's I have not heard that.
Do you think there is any truth to the idea of if Alabama had lost that game, that Kalen DeBoer takes the job at Penn State and then Lane ends up going to Alabama because that's a job he really wanted?
I have a hard time believing that Kalen DeBoer, first off, would have left Alabama for Penn State. I have a hard time getting over that one to begin with, that was a possibility. I don't know if that was ever really a possibility. I do know that Lane takes advice and leans on certain people that probably believe that the Alabama job is a great job, certainly like Nick Saban. So I just, in order for that to happen, I think the first thing that had to happen was Kalen leaving. And I just never believed that was a real possibility.
I now have a new possibility. You had a cat briefly. Is that a real cat? Is that even your cat? Or are you just trying to get us to like you better?
The cat that
Yeah.
was, that I had to throw off my lap. Is
Is that really
a
your
real
cat?
cat. That is That is my cat. I promise you. It doesn't spend. Although sometimes I wish it would. It doesn't spend like the weekends and other days when I'm off camera in some kennel somewhere. But it is my it is my cat. I don't know where she went now, but
Juice
she was crawling
Dellenger,
around on me
the
earlier.
cat
So
Juice Dellenger. Yes.
yeah. uh, maybe no. Her name is Maxine. We call her Max for short.
Do you think Indiana has the talent to play with Ohio State?
Um, I do. I think what Indiana's done. Look, Ohio State's the most talented team in the country, I think. They have they probably have like five of the top 10 players in the country just on one team. So it's going to be tough. They're playing really well right now. We saw what they did in the cold and sleet and on the road in Ann Arbor. Um, but I think what Indiana's done and how their quarterback has played and how their defense, especially their defensive front, has played, I think they can hang around. I don't think they're going to win. I think Ohio State has too many weapons. But it wouldn't shock me if they enter the fourth quarter. That's a one-score game.
If it is a 3 or more score game, any chance they lose the bye?
I would be surprised. I guess it depends on what happens in other games. If Alabama beats Georgia, that would probably push Georgia out of the top four in the bye. If BYU were to upset Texas Tech, right, that would push Texas Tech off the bye. So if one of those two things happen, you would think even losing significantly, Indiana would still get the bye. If those things don't happen and Texas Tech wins and Georgia wins and beats Alabama, maybe it'll be closer, but I still think pretty much no matter what, they'll get the bye. That if everybody wins that's in the four right now, they probably except for this game, obviously we're talking about. Oh, the three of the four, if they win, they'll stay in the bye, and I think Indiana does too. I think it's just where they'll slip, right? They'll probably slip to if Georgia wins, they'll probably slip to number three if they lose against Ohio State, and especially if it's not like an overtime game or something. But if they lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns, they could slip to number four, maybe beyond Texas Tech. It's possible.
I
I don't
got
know about slipping to five though.
I have two final questions for you. If Duke wins the ACC championship, do they get in?
That's the big question. If Duke wins, are they ranked in front of JMU? And your listeners are probably like, "What? What are you talking about JMU for?" And I'll explain because there's a little misconception that the power conference champions, all four of the power conference champions, get an AQ, and there's one designated for the G5 champion. That's not right, actually. Right? It's the five highest ranked conference champions. So if the ACC champion isn't ranked ahead of the second highest G5 group of five champion, which would be potentially JMU, then two group of five champions, the American champion, either Tulane or North Texas, they play each other, and JMU get into the playoff, and the ACC would be left out. There's a chance that happens if Duke upsets Virginia. Now, the Duke win over Virginia is a good win. I mean, Virginia's 10-2. They're ranked by top 15, top 17. So that would be a good win. Is it enough to jump Duke over JMU? JMU's ranked number 25 right now. Duke isn't ranked at all. So does that get them in the rankings? That's going to be an interesting one for the committee if that all unfolds.
Yeah, Duke's had 5 losses, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to rank a
Mm-hmm.
team with 5 losses who lost. I mean, they lost to NC State, and it wasn't counted as a conference game because it was already
They lost
scheduled.
to UConn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final question for you. Who do you think actually can win? If you had to tier these out, who can win the national championship?
Certainly Ohio State. I think Georgia. Um, you know, I I think Indiana's played well enough. I mean, their win at Oregon tells me a lot that they should be a contender as well. Um, and then I look at the way Notre Dame's playing, and I look at the way Notre Dame played last year in the playoffs, and it makes me think that they can win the national championship too. Um, if they get in, that's another going to be another interesting debate by the selection committee.
No Texas Tech, no Oregon.
Um, Look, I mean, Texas Tech's front seven and their quarterback and how he's played, uh, they have the tools, I think, to do it. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And we've seen Oregon just doesn't seem to the level it was last year. Obviously, it lost in the first game last year to Ohio State in a weird format, the weird playoff format. But I think to a degree, all these teams, all these power conference teams that make the playoff have a good chance, to make a run. And like I said earlier, it's kind of like the playoff expanded enough where it's kind of like the NCAA tournament. If you get in, who knows what could happen.
On Instagram, Ross_Dellenger, and also check out College Football Inquirer, the podcast. And yeah, thanks for the time. I've been reading a lot of your Lane stuff, so yeah, excellent job. And tell Juice the cat we said what up. Hope you guys have a great day.
Good deal. Thanks, guys, for
All right,
having
Ross.
me on.
See you, buddy. Now we're going to go over to former NFL wide receiver Allen Robinson. He played for the Jaguars, the Bears, the Rams, the Steelers, the Lions, after a dominant college career at Penn State, where he was a two-time Big Ten Receiver of the Year. We talk about this. He hasn't officially retired yet, but we get into it. But he does a lot of coverage on the NFL now, and you can check him out at Allen Robinson11. Here he is, Allen Robinson. All right, let's bring on Allen Robinson. Hey, we were having a little debate, Allen, because there's a graphic of you that we have up on the screen, and it's you as a lion, but then around the room it was like, I don't know, should it be a jaguar? Should it be a bear? Like, what would you have made you on the graphic?
Ooh, that's a great question. I probably would say a bear. That's probably what I would go with. Bear, I would say bear or jaguar. I'm kind of torn, at the end of the day for myself, I talk about it all the time on which, when it comes time to retire and what team I want to retire as, I'm still kind of split down the middle.
Yeah, that's on us then. Bad graphic. We'd like to apologize for our lion graphic there, Allen.
Listen, I got a lot of love for Detroit, man. I'm from Detroit,
Yeah.
so it's all good.
You play multiple sports too, right? Were you a track star?
No, I was a basketball player. I was a big basketball player. I tell everybody, man, just over even now, still. And in my lifetime, I've spent countless numbers of hours more in the gym than I did on the field.
Did you think you might play basketball at the next level? And when did it go from basketball to football?
Yeah, I did. Even then, having some small offers in high school, basketball wise. For me, it shifted my junior season. After my junior season in high school, football wise, kind of when I shifted my focus going into my senior year. For myself, that's I was a 3-star recruit, I think, but even a lot of that was from I didn't go to any like Nike football camps or I didn't go to anything like that. For me, I was mainly playing AAU. I was in California, Las Vegas, Arizona over the summer, playing in these kind of tournaments.
You played at Penn, and I have NFL questions too, but I'm just generally curious about your career in that you played at Penn State and you lead the Big Ten in receptions, but it's cold. If you'd have played somewhere warmer, don't you feel like you could have just balled out so much harder?
I'll say this. I mean, that's possible, but at the same time, I think for me, especially my sophomore junior year, it was a combination of getting Bill O'Brien in there. He was a guy who trusted me through and through to be able to give me those opportunities, and he was a guy who came from New England, so rain, sleet, snow, hail, he was going to throw the rock. It was only a couple of games that I can remember where, the elements affected us passing the ball. And like I said before, that was only a couple times.
Whenever you're getting ready for the draft, I think you went in the second round. Like, what were they telling you pre-draft? Where did you think you'd go? Who did you think you'd go to? And then how did it shake out?
Yeah, actually, I thought I was going to go to the Carolina Panthers the week of the draft. So the draft was on a Thursday, I believe. That Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I spent those 3 days talking to Carolina receiver coach. He came to Detroit. We spent time at my high school on the board watching film for about 3 days, So He got to know me extremely well, and it felt as if that was a viable option as far as where I would go.
Why didn't you go there? What happened?
They end up drafting Kelvin Benjamin. And sometimes how the draft works is everybody has people a little bit different on their board. A little bit, and when I say different, I mean a little bit different than when you have like the Todd McShays and stuff like that. Like everybody's board is a little bit different. So if Kelvin Benjamin may have gotten taken early, I think that they may have drafted me.
But then you go somewhere warm. You go to Jacksonville. I mean, how did that had to feel good to play ball where it's not freezing cold?
It did, and also for myself, that was what I wanted to do. My even in college, I would tell people that I wanted to go somewhere hot when it came to the NFL. So granted, I would joke at everybody and say it was Jacksonville, which for me wasn't ideal, but at the end of the day, it was hot, and that was something that I asked for.
Yeah, I'd want it to be warm. Like, you don't have to wear gloves just to stay warm. You just wear gloves to catch balls. I hate cold weather, by the way, Alan, if you can't tell. Hey, so
I feel you.
You're done though now, right? Like you're done. You're done. You're retired.
I'm not retired yet. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'll fill it out to see where my body is at next spring and stuff like that. I would say that I'm definitely closer to retirement than any other time that I've been in, which also may be an option next spring, but I'm not totally done yet. I wouldn't completely close the door. Obviously we've saw receivers and other positions come back after being a year out of ball, just as far as getting their body right and stuff like that.
So are you training? You staying in shape, like football shape? If they
Yeah,
called,
yeah,
if
yeah.
they
I'm in
called you
shape.
now?
Yeah, I'm in shape. Yeah, man. I do the same training that I've been doing. Even when I was active on a team or playing. I was on a treadmill last week. Doing some high volume sprints. I hit 23 miles an hour. So I'm still in great shape, man. I'm in great shape.
If a team called right now, you can take the call?
Right now, I wouldn't. And that's based on a few different things, again, just kind of, I've been in a situation before when how much you have to learn of a playbook and stuff like that. I've kind of closed the door on this year, but being able to possibly get on a team next year for OTAs or in the spring, that would be a better option for me rather than jumping on a moving train right now. That would be a little bit tough and that's more so the mental aspect of it all.
I was listening to your analysis, and then I was also watching some of your clips on Instagram. You guys can go Allen Robinson 11 and like watch you talk about ball. How do you like that version of your career now, where it's you talking about it instead of playing it?
I enjoy it. I look at myself as kind of like a savant a little bit when it comes to football, as far as knowing the X's and O's, knowing the ins and outs. That was something that I prided myself on my career. So being able to, speak on that, I feel very comfortable with, because like I said before, whether that's in meetings, communicating to my teammates, communicating to my coaches, coverages, different things up front, with the O-line and stuff like that, being able to have a good grasp of everything that's going on, I took pride in that.
We talked about the Bears earlier. I want to start with the Bears. Right now, if the playoffs started, they'd be the number 1 seed in the NFC. How about those Bears? Like, how real are the Bears this year?
I think they're real, especially now as they're starting to gain confidence and pick up steam. And, at the end of the day, they've taken the personality of their coach. I've said since day one, Ben Johnson is the real deal, from the way that he coaches, how detailed he is. For him, he coaches his best in crunch time and in close games. So his teams tend to play the best at that point in time too. He's not a guy who's, gonna get tight when it comes to play calls and stuff like that, man. He's going to empty the clip, and he expects his players to do the same.
And I get that different humans have different personalities, but when you say a coach is detail oriented, did you ever have a coach that just didn't give a crap about details? You don't have to say who. You don't have to say who.
I wouldn't say didn't give a crap about details, but I think there are coaches who are a little bit more detail oriented when it comes to specific splits, specific depths, how those things happen. Because you do have some offenses and stuff that's more schematic, and you do have some offenses that's more matchup based.
And so the schematic would be the more detailed, like you have to do things exactly based on the scheme more so than who you're up against?
Exactly. Schematics and timing, rather than some matchup-based schemes, are a little bit more loose, and the quarterback may wait on your timing a little bit more than more of a scheme-based offense that's predicated on timing.
What about the Dallas Cowboys? Your thoughts about the Cowboys these last few weeks? They look pretty good defensively. They're playing much better. You think they can make the playoffs?
They started out slow, so I think it has to do with the other teams around them. Do I think they're a caliber a playoff caliber team right now at the moment? Yes. And even how we just kind of talked about matchup versus scheme, I think when you look at them, they have a lot of matchup based stuff in their offense, which gives Dak Prescott to kind of hold on his back foot, wait for George Pickens, wait for CeeDee Lamb, and then be able to just give those guys opportunities. And that's contested as well because, to kind of follow up on the schematic thing is you have some coaches, and I even heard Ben Johnson say this in his press conference, you have some coaches who don't believe 50-50 balls are good opportunities for their offense, as opposed to you look at a team like the Dallas Cowboys, they'll throw George Pickens 50-50 balls any day of the week.
I feel like Tua just throws all 50-50 balls. Your thoughts?
He does, and it's funny because they're more of a schematic based offense, so you can kind of understand how that may not play into that, into the what the Miami Dolphins are doing, for him throwing 50-50 balls in an offense that's majority scheme based.
Chiefs are 6-6. This is another one of these teams going into this week. It's pretty much an elimination game as they play the Texans. You think the Chiefs make the playoffs?
Ooh. They have a tough road ahead. Again, playing against the Houston Texans this week, I mean, we've saw what their front is like and defensively what they're doing. So do I think they have a shot? Yes. Do I think they'll get in? No.
When you look at the NFC, it's just a cluster of a bunch of these teams that have 3 losses, 4 losses, but all of them are good. Seattle, San Francisco. We talk about the Rams. The Rams had a bad loss last week to Carolina, but you have a lot of really good teams, but really not a team that has raised their hand to say, hey, I'm that team. Who do you think it is in the NFC?
I may have to say the Seahawks. And I say the Seahawks because watching their defense and their run game, throughout the course of this season, their defense has continuously got better. They've been relatively healthy. They have a good run game. They have a playmaker in Jackson Smith and Jigba. And, when it comes to teams making deep playoff runs and being true contenders, that's the makeup for it. Obviously, you have the Rams, who have probably the best quarterback in the NFC and who's playing the best right now. And they have a good defense as well. But I think Seattle Seahawks defense is a little bit more playmaking as far as how many turnovers they've been able to force and how they've capitalized on those throughout the course of the season.
The Eagles are struggling offensively. Would you put it solely on the offensive line? Like, what's happening there?
I put it on the offensive coordinator. And I say that because when you kind of go back to the origin of Nick Sirianni and just him being a 11 base personnel kind of guy and the scheme that was originally brought there, for me, like I say all the time, when there's numerous players, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, when you aren't getting, and even the O-line as well, when you aren't getting the best out of a collective group, I can't just put it all on those guys to say that they chose to not play their best at the same time. To me, that's more of a offensive scheme thing, and some things needed to be tweaks needing to be made. Again, I don't know exactly what they're running and how they're doing it, but I do know that it's not working. And when you look at it, everything just seems to be off across the board on all levels of what they're doing on offense.
What do we learn about the coaching hires? Because you have Vrabel, Patriots are killing it. You have Liam Cohen in Jacksonville, they're winning. You got Ben Johnson in Chicago, they're winning. You're talking about 3 teams that did not win, and now here they are all performing well above what they did last year. Like, what did we learn from all those coaching hires this season?
Well, I'll say this. I think one thing that we learned is last year was a phenomenal coaching carousel as far as the options that were there. But at the same time, I don't think every year is equal to that. Like this year, as far as coaches, like there will be some names thrown around, but when you look at some teams looking to add coaches, is who is that going to be? There may be some big names that are fired, hopefully for some guys that are looking to make a big splash. But I don't think that every coaching carousel is created equally. As like last year, you had a lot of big names. You had experience in Mike Vrabel. You had Ben Johnson, who was, the hottest offensive mind. The same with Liam Cohen. You looked at where he's come from and his tree and what he's done, and I don't know if that is, current right now as far as the coaches that are coming up.
Don't you look at the Titans, and listen, we're a national show, but we live in Nashville. Like, to fire Vrabel, like that might have been the dumbest move in coaching in the past 5 years, right?
I agree, and again, where do you go from Vrabel? And now they're back at the drawing board as far as being able to bring in a coach. And I mean, like you said before, you're in Nashville. For the Tennessee Titans, what are some of the names that you would say that would kind of maybe steer the boat back in the right direction and get back on track, or kind of maybe get it to where Vrabel was.
Well,
I mean, and again, I think that's an extremely tough ask.
Yeah, and because they don't invest here. Like, there's a reason that they call this a poverty program. Like, there's a reason that the Titans usually weren't good, even with a great coach. Like, Vrabel had some really good teams, but now you see those were Vrabel-led teams, not Titans organization teams. Like, there are certain organizations that are just not good, right?
Listen, that's a full conversation for another day. I think as a player, you get that and you understand that once you go to a few places that, again, everything is not created equal in the NFL as far as organizationally, facility wise, what the standard is, cafeteria wise, across the board, man. Everything is not created equally, and sometimes you have those teams like you're saying, in a situation where they have Mike Vrabel, they can't contend. But other than that, you have teams where if they don't have a phenomenal coach who's able to rally some good pieces around, for the most part, they're just going to kind of fade to black, and they'll be relevant. When I say they, meaning some of the teams that you're speaking of, they'll be relevant every blue moon, but not consistently.
Yeah, Titans, Cardinals, like just
see, there you go.
Yeah, no, yeah, I could keep going on that, but like you said, that's for another day. Did you have
even Cincinnati? Look at Cincinnati.
Yeah. They've just now got an indoor facility just now to practice in.
Yeah.
All right, look.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth. Best food when you played. Who had the best cafeteria?
Best cafeteria food. I would say it's a toss-up between Pittsburgh and Detroit. Both of those have very, very good food options. It's funny because when I was in Jacksonville, shout out to Jacksonville, because I always joke and say going into it, it was like for me being a young player, I didn't think too much of it. And again, they've made some additions. Shout out to the Khan family, because they have made some changes, since they've taken over. And once I got there, they were relatively new to the ownership of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we didn't consistently eat in the cafeteria. A lot of things that took place there, going from Jacksonville to Chicago, to whereas you have an entire practice facility, where you come in there, you see all the trophies, you see the cafeteria, so it's been a lot different, from place to place. But food wise, I got to give it to Pittsburgh or Detroit.
Let me ask you one final question here, and we appreciate the time. But when you were playing college ball, the hardest stadium to play in as a visitor?
Hardest stadium to play in. Funny because I played at Ohio State twice. I won there once. I would say possibly Nebraska. And I say Nebraska because the time that we played there, man, not only is it a pretty hostile environment, but the winds were absolutely ridiculous. I know that's kind of smack dab in the Midwest, around what you have in that area, Iowa, I think Kansas and stuff is close, and in that kind of region. And I always hear about the wind there. And sure enough, when we did play there, we were trying to find pockets of the field and stadium to pass the ball. I remember before the game, Bill O'Brien coming to me like, "Listen, man, like there's gonna be some spots where we could take some shots, but right now this stadium is like a complete wind tunnel, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to air it out how we want it." So that was something that I always remembered, and I didn't know if it was like that, but I know same thing going to Iowa. You find wind tunnels, rain, but Nebraska was a little bit more turned up than Iowa was.
Hey, well, Alan, good luck. If you decide to go back and play ball again next year, or, as you continue your career and talking about football, because you obviously know the game as good as anybody, like, good luck in that. We really appreciate the time. You guys can follow Alan at Alan Robinson11 on Instagram. Alan, hope you stay healthy. Hope you have a great holiday. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, Alan. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. It's funny sometimes when you realize as an adult how you were lied to as a kid. And I've told the story many times about me finding out about my dog that was sent away to a farm.
Oh, yeah.
And I was 40 years old when I found out. And I was like, what?
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened.
Did he die?
They had to put him down. He bit people.
Oh, okay.
But
and
they told
me
Bobby.
that Arkansas Keith's friend who lived like on the outs. And I thought that my whole life. And then one day I was telling my wife, and she was like, that's not true.
Wait, she knew and you didn't know?
No, she just knew it was such an absurd story
Yeah, like,
that they sent him to like out of town. I never saw him again.
but Bobby fell for it as a kid,
And I still was holding on to it, so I called him. He's like, "No, it happened. He's dead."
shot it, man.
He didn't even know that. I didn't know.
Dang.
Eddie has a similar one about the Mike Ditka restaurant.
This was like, I don't know, 20 years ago. Nah, probably like 15 years ago.
Oh, you weren't a child.
No. Now, it's about 15 years ago. My wife and I go to Chicago, and it's our first time there, and we see there's a Ditka's restaurant. And I'm like, oh, Mike Ditka, the coach, and like, let's go eat there. So we walk in there, and it's pretty empty, but the bartender's like, man, pick wherever you want to sit. And I was like, hey, does Mike Ditka ever come around? He's like, dude, you just missed him. 5 minutes ago, he was here, sitting at the bar, had lunch and everything. You just missed him. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. And I've thought about that my whole life. Like, I could have met Mike Ditka.
Your whole life, yeah.
15
You
years
know?
ago.
Yeah, your whole life.
I totally could. If I would have gotten there 5 minutes sooner, I could have met Mike Ditka. I was telling a friend of mine from Chicago this story, and he goes, oh, dude, they tell that to everyone.
Shut up.
Like, he's never there, but like they say that so that you can say like, yeah, dude, you missed him 5 minutes ago. He was here. Come back again. He might come back tonight.
Ah, that's smart. Damn.
Or just that you tell people about it.
Yeah, he
Therefore,
goes there
you're
all the
talking
time.
about the bar.
So
Got
dumb,
him,
dude. And
dude.
like, this was just the other day, and I was like, I've thought that he was really there my whole life.
Did your buddy give you crap for it? Like,
Yeah,
you
he's
actually
like-
fell for
he's
that?
Like, you really thought he was sitting
Well, I thought
there?
you were a child. I didn't realize
Nah, dude.
I thought
you were like
a
30
child.
years old when that happened.
Dude, that restaurant's crazy, though. They have a Bloody Mary drink that's called, I think, Mike's Bloody Mary, because Mike obviously drinks
He
it.
probably just had one before you got there.
Yeah, that's what he was drinking 5 minutes before I got there. And it has like a chicken finger in it. It has like a hot dog in it. It has shrimp in it. It's just loaded. It's the biggest drink I've ever seen in my life. I'm like,
Did you get one?
no,
Oh.
no, I wouldn't even drink that.
Got it.
That's too much.
I got a couple things before we jump. So I saw this clip, and it was Odell Beckham talking about the struggles of a $100 million contract and how it's cut in half and then how you can't have generational wealth. Here is Odell Beckham Jr. talking about this on the Pivot podcast.
I always explain this to people, like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60. You're getting taxed. That's 12 a year, that you have to spend, use, save, invest, flaunt, like whatever, however, just being real. I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna give my mama a house, I'm gonna do, everything costs money. So if you spending $4 million a year, that's really $40 million over 5 years, 8 a year, And now you start breaking down the numbers, it's like, that's a 5-year span of where you're getting $8 million. Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who ain't us and ain't been in the position, like, oh, well, that would last a lifetime.
What is he talking
Has there
about?
ever been a more out of touch human?
What is he talking about? You can make that last.
Yeah, you can make that last.
You got to take that middle part out, though, where you're going to spend a little bit on me.
Buy a car.
Spend a little here, spend a little
Then,
there.
then after you do all the spending, you only got $8 million left. Well, stop all that spending.
Yeah.
Put into there's stuff that we do that we put it into these accounts. I don't know what they are, and it just gets interest. It's not even like a bank account or
the
savings.
Roth and all that
and then,
kind of stuff.
And then
Heard of
also
those?
it's like investment accounts too, where people like manage these massive accounts. And there are just ways that you make money if you have money. It's crazy.
Now, I understand being given $60 million. It's tempting, right? Like, I just made $60 million. Like, right now, it's in my hands. I can buy a boat. Like, I get the spending is
has.
tempting.
Yeah.
And he has. But you can make generational wealth with that money.
Also, his endorsements, though. He didn't even talk about that.
That's
I mean,
just salary?
OBJ is, when he was in his prime, like 10 years ago, whatever it was, he was everywhere.
His cars, he's got a $353,000 Rolls Royce, a $337,000 Ferrari, a $220,000 Lamborghini Huracan Spider. That's how you say that. So he's got.
Okay.
m-
And that's
At that point, you're not thinking about your generation, like
On
the next
you.
generation.
Right.
You're thinking about you.
and he's got a kid too.
I'm sure the kid will be fine.
I'm sure he will too, but it's just
That's
like,
crazy to think. And here is the unfair thing about what he starts with. Well, if you get $100 million, you get taxed. Well, if somebody makes $80,000 a year, they also get taxed.
Yeah, everyone
Now,
gets-
it's not the exact same tax rate,
It's more,
but it's also not a clear $80,000.
Mhm.
It's $63,000 or whatever the tax. So it's not like only rich get money taken off tax. Everybody does. So whatever
Yeah.
you claim, the taxes come out of it.
But I do see. I see what he's saying with you would think it's this much, but it's after taxes. It's.
But it's the same thing
and
if
you're
somebody
talking-
says I make $100,000 a year. They're not getting $100,000 in a year.
right. But when you say millions, it seems like a whole different ballgame.
But it's the same.
It is the same. You're right.
Anyway, I thought
That's
that
a
was
funny clip.
really out of touch. A drunk 90-year-old man in California survived after crashing his car into a coffee shop on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
The shop was closed at the time. We talking about old people doing stuff.
Yes.
I wonder if he recovered.
No, yeah, he's point of no return.
How old was he?
90.
Yeah, no, he's
Point of
over
no
that.
return.
Too old.
A car plowed into the Los Gatos Coffee Roasting Company
Oh,
on
the
Thanksgiving
cats.
night.
The cats.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, Los Gatos.
According to police, the driver was a 90-year-old man. Nobody was inside the shop at the time. It was closed for the holiday. The driver was hospitalized and now listed in stable condition. Police are investigating the incident. KSBW.
This is nothing like that, but I remember when I was at the beach, and they have those go-kart races.
Okay.
And it was time to, they put the red light, like, all right, put the cart back. And it was like last lap. And I was going, and everyone had already in front of me put the cart back, and people were getting out of their go-karts. And, like, I hit the gas instead of the brake. Dude, I nailed all of them. Boom, 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 boom. People were falling out and everything. And I'll never forget that. It's probably what this old man felt like when, I don't know what he did, but he maybe hit the gas instead of the brake. I've been there, done it.
It wasn't a coffee shop.
I didn't go into a coffee shop, but I'll never forget people's face like, what are you doing? And the guy, hit the brake. Don't hit the gas.
That sucks.
That's embarrassing.
I'll never forget it.
Okay, I think that's it. Anything, guys?
No, go Cowboys.
Yeah, I know it's a local thing, but Vanderbilt, man, they're up and coming. Those recruits. See them flipping?
Well, yeah, they have money.
I know. That's great.
Who's
Yeah.
giving them that money?
I don't know.
Nate Bargatze?
I don't know. I don't know where they're getting
Are
their money.
you're not doing
Dude,
national
But
money?
they do. I'm not giving them any money. It's not my team. Yes, they have money. I mean, the Arkansas guy came in and who's our new coach, Silverfield, and got a bunch of the Arkansas recruits in the state, like the top 4 of the 5 that were other places. And people are like, man, he's really changing it up. No, he just has more money now. That's what it is. People are more confident in him than the last administration, so they're giving him more money to go and spend on players coming in. So it's not about coaches just giving a better speech in the living room.
Yeah, but Clark Lee, he's legit.
But they're
So
also
he's getting more money because he's turned it around with Diego and
Yes.
all that. Yeah.
And yeah,
Confidence in donors.
they
and
got
all
the
that.
#1 quarterback, the 5-star
Yeah.
plus that was
Yeah.
going to
From
Georgia.
Right down the street here.
Oh, he's from
a
here?
Nashville
Yeah.
kid.
And he was going to Georgia.
And he's going to Georgia.
I knew
yep.
that. I didn't know he lived here, though.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I
I saw him
don't
and I didn't
know.
recognize it either.
Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't like Willie Payton or anything. Willie Manning, Peyton's other nephew.
When you like give money to a school, do you have to give it to them right away, or can you like pledge it?
Different. There's still no, like,
Policing.
yeah. Dude, you can
Wild
do,
West,
you can do whatever you want. But most of the time, if the stuff that I've done, I've just given them the money.
straight up.
Yeah, or I've just committed to doing NILs outside of, because you can do that. You can hire people. It doesn't have to go. You have to clear it through like the people that go anything over $599. You have to go through a board that says, okay, this is actual NIL money because you are using them for name, image, and likeness. Before that, a collective could just come together and go, we just promise you all this money if you come to play for us. Like, there's no name, image, likeness. It's just, we just promise you this money. You can't really do that the same anymore.
This might be in the weeds too much, and I don't know if you can say it or not, but like when you donate into the NIL, do they tell you exactly where it's going?
It's not really. So now it's more profit sharing. You can do NIL outward. There are a lot, and everybody does it differently. The policing is so different.
Okay.
There's no policing.
I just didn't know if you're like, hey, I'm giving you $10,000.
But it's only
It's
for
got to
the
go
quarterback.
towards this guy
Yeah.
or this program,
That's a
not
good
the
question.
basketball, football.
Some schools probably do that, but I think that if you're going to do that, they would want you to do it yourself.
Gotcha.
Give it to them directly.
Well, and then they need to work their name, image,
Yeah.
likeness part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because players also are getting paid not through NIL, through the profit share with the $20 million or so that each school gets now.
Yeah.
And they're committing money to each person that way.
Is that profit share equal?
No. Yes and no, but not for power, depending on if you play in like G5, Power 4.
But the quarterback gets the same.
No,
as the,
no, not
Okay,
at all.
Okay.
No. I thought you meant did the schools get about the same amount of money?
No. I meant
Because
like
yes
players.
to that, but not all schools do because
They don't create
they don't. Yeah,
the revenue.
right. But no. If you want a great player, you pay them more money.
Yeah.
And I've probably said a couple things wrong and all of that, depending on what school you're a fan of. I just know how a few schools do it, and those are different ways than other schools are doing it. Dude, how it's done is still so wide open, and you wouldn't really win a lawsuit, lose a lawsuit either way because there are no real rules.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
You think Sam Houston State would take $500?
I think you could donate to the foundation. Or you could, yeah. I mean, I think there's a way to do it.
'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, like give him like $100 NIL, baby.
What are you gonna get? Like a backup punter?
I don't know. Whatever they want to use it for.
Go to like a
Lunch.
quarterback in Texas in high school right now and be like, hey, man, I got
Use
something
it.
for you.
Use it wisely, boys.
Samuelson State.
All right, we're done.
Jared Curtis, by the way.
What's up?
Jared Curtis is his name.
Oh, is the quarterback?
Yeah.
Eddie Boy. All right, thank you guys. See you next week.